almost a sense of deja vu, Zain, as the square has been pretty much empty over the past week or so. It is now a week since the anniversary of the ouster of former President Hosni Mubarak. If we can just zoom in, perhaps you can see just the depth and the numbers of people swelling the crowd there. They are being spoken to at the moment by Sheikh Yusuf Al-Qaradawi, a man who was in exile in Qatar for many years. He is head of the International Union of Scholars, an extremely influential sheikh, and he's been saying to the people now that the old pharaohs used to scare people. The old regime did the same, but the young people insisted, and warning people that the revolution has just begun, that we need to rebuild Egypt, quote unquote, and be aware of those who want to take it from you. So I think there is a sense here that the people are celebrating, Zain, very much. They are still very concerned about developments in the country and the transition to democracy here, but from the moment, the mood is jubilant.
Are they satisfied with the arrest of ex-officials in Egypt?
Well, the government has moved very quickly to make sure that anyone who's been accused of serious corruption in the former government is being held accountable. Last night we saw the arrest of a number of former ministers, including a business tycoon, and it would seem that they are going to be held under arrest for 15 days while an investigation is underway into allegations of corruption. But for a moment, let's go back to Tahrir Square, because Ben Wedeman is there and he can give us more of a sense of the flavor of what is happening down there. Ben.
Yes, Fionnuala, it's a very festive atmosphere, and it's hard to estimate how many people have crammed into Tahrir Square, but I think this is the biggest crowd yet we've seen since January 25th, when the Egyptian revolution began. And certainly people are here to celebrate more than anything else today. One man I spoke to, he said he came from the UAE. He's an Egyptian who lives and works there. He came here 3 days ago specifically to attend today's rally in Tahrir Square. He had his 2 kids with him. He said he never imagined that he would see the day when the people of Egypt overthrew Hosni Mubarak. So an atmosphere really one of celebration, a certain amount of solemnity as well, given that Egypt is also mourning the more than 350 people who were killed in the course of the 18-day uprising against the Mubarak regime.
Ben, let me ask you, what about the nature and the composition of the people there? Are they the same people, the same kind of people who were demonstrating since January 25th?
Well, I think we have more people, a lot of people who probably have not come did not come to Tahrir during those 18 days of protest. We have lots of women and children. I mean, it's a very much of a sort of almost some people are sitting on the sidewalk having a picnic. But yes, it's the same sort of composition of people. We have, you know, as before, Christians and Muslims, workers and students, businessmen, sort of the whole range of Egyptian society is here taking part in this rally today.
Ben Wedeman there in Tahrir Square, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And Zain, as we hand back to you, I think once this day of celebration is over, the question now for the government will be how much more will they continue to tolerate the widespread unrest, the protests, the strikes by not only state workers but private workers as well in the private sector as they attempt to try and get this country back up and running. The losses, economically speaking, that the country is enduring or incurring rather, are very severe. So that, I think, is the next thing to watch out for.